this past week we've been talking about social media and how we are using social media. What are we doing? What are we not doing? And things like that. We looked at the positives, the negatives. But today it's a whole different level of social media. I'm joined today with a group of young Africans that are doing amazing stuff using social media. People that are, selling stuff on social media, using e-commerce, educating, people out there, preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, different initiatives that people are doing. People running their own YouTube channels, running their own e-commerce platforms. And today, we're just going to be discussing and sharing what other people are doing. What other people, how they manage to get there. How did they manage to make it work? Whilst most of us are struggling to make it work, right? Because a lot of us, we would love to do stuff on social media. But from time to time, we struggle or we are scared. So I'm joined today as part of the panel. We've got Abs, Abigail, we've got Tobela, we've got Vincent, who's with us. We've got Sonaka, and we also have got Owen, who's with us. Guys, how are we making it work? But before we get there, maybe let's start with generally, quickly, what do you think about what young people are doing on social media? Are you happy about it? Are you not happy about it? Mr. Vincent, what do you say, my man?
I think that the way that young people are using social media is subjective. Like some of them are using it for good things and some of them are using it for bad things. Some of them are using it for self-affirmation and some of them are using it to impact people.
Wow, great stuff. Yes, Abby and Tobela?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's sort of maybe 50-50 because we've seen the bad side of social media. We've seen the effect it has on people's self-worth, identity issues, and just behavioral change in general. But on the other hand, we've seen young people blow on social media, create their own careers out of social media. So yeah, 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Abby, there. I think that the challenge is actually how do we then consume social media? Because I think, people use social media as they like, right? It's free, you can use it as you like, and it can backfire as much as it can. But how do we decide to consume social media? And I think that's where most of our perspective lies, because we consume it based on how it comes. And also social media doesn't have a lot of context, So sometimes when you consume it, you need a pinch of salt. So how do you use it as someone that's using it, but also the person that's consuming? How do they decide to consume social media? And I think that's an important, part of the conversation.
Yeah, true that, and it's part of what came out, in our conversation last week to say, so how best do we make use of this? And, people were coming from different perspectives of how, different individuals are making use of this in a way that is growing them, in a way that is positive, but also in a way that is negative, in a way that is destroying them. So it has been an eye-opening, conversation. But guys, you guys have been doing great stuff on social media. Come on. I really stand you guys because you've been doing stuff that a lot of us out there would want to do, but at times it's the fear, at times or it's the concern, and at times it's the the community and the people around you, being scared of saying, how, if this doesn't work, what do I do? A lot of people, there's always a thing of, what if I go live and there's only 2 people that are watching? So what do I do? It's always, I always see you, Vincent, on live. How do you manage that, man?
I think managing that kind of pressure goes back to the vision that you have for what you're doing. Because when you're trying to build a brand for something, you're going to get those steep slopes where people are not buying into the product or they don't understand what you're doing. But getting that consistency. So I think when you understand your vision, what you're trying to do, it doesn't matter even if it's one person who's listening or one person who's watching or one person who opened your broadcast. You keep doing it because you know that consistency is going to be the platform. You have a vision, you have a product, and you need so many people to hear about it.
Sure, I really agree with you there, Vincent, because when I started, starting my YouTube channel, it was like literally a year ago. And then I stopped because, you get demotivated when sometimes you post something and then you've put so much effort and then there's like 19 views and you're like, oh my gosh. Like you yeah, but I mean, it goes back to the vision, because a year later I thought to myself, wow, the message that I want to share is important, and there's people that are not hearing it. So the 19 that are hearing it, well, I must continue, telling that message to those people, and maybe later when other people, realize that this is a good message, like things will happen. Like I just decided, okay, fine, value the 19, value those viewers, and it goes back to the vision. So yeah, no, I really agree.
And I'd like to say, I'm not going to sit here and act like it was easy. It's not easy. I know right now there's someone sitting out there watching us and wondering how the process was for us. It was really difficult. Like for me, it took me 2 years to actually get on YouTube and start posting, because I also had those fears. What if people don't appreciate my content? What if people, the criticism and everything else, that the bad side of social media, and actually being vulnerable to share your life on social media. It took me a while, but then again, like you guys have been saying, the vision, that motivation, if it's burning, you can't just ignore it. So I'm glad that I finally took the leap in spite of all the fears that I had.
Amazing expression and experience. But I think one of the most underlining topics that maybe you need to just know as a vision to drive yourself is that each viewer is a potential market for your product. So if you got 90, put it as 90 real human beings that have listened to your product. So sometimes it's not about the thousands, it's not about the millions. You can have 10,000 views and 200 interested people. So I think you really to be discouraged by the number of views. It doesn't work. I think my first video, my first live, I had, I think live people were about 30 people. And then I just left the video online. And then after some time, when I looked at the video, it had about 7,000 views, and the video kept going. So I realized now that it's not really the people that are live that are going to really look on YouTube. Many people will still come and log in and check in. So yeah, I mean, the numbers, they do matter, but they are not, they shouldn't be the guideline to say,
so you're saying you just leave the video there, and it shot so much, man. How did you make this happen? Like, I want to hear more of this one.
No, you see, the thing is, people share information. Whatever you're saying, people share. Please check this out. There's this video about this information, and the more people share, people will still come back to your profile, and they keep checking that video, and more views are coming, more views are coming. So the real people that are interested in your product might not necessarily be the people that log in during the live. It may be the people that will still watch it 3 weeks later, 1 month later, So the live is just people who have the privilege to participate, but it doesn't end with them.
And I think I really think that's a very huge point, especially to those who do lives. I know, Vincent, you do a lot of live broadcasts as well. That point of saying the people who are live are the people that are participating, and it's not necessarily the people that will get the message or to get the product. Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
go ahead, Abby.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what I've also picked from what Owen just shared is that it's a process. Give it time. Like when I look at the first video I made, the first few hours, the views were really low. But now when I go back to it, the views have gone up to, 300, 400. So yeah, I think patience and understanding that it's a process really helps.
Yeah, I agree there, Abby. And also, I think just to acknowledge the fact that when you start something, you won't know everything. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
YouTube on its own is like, it's a course, it's a degree. Like, like literally.
You keep learning every day. You keep learning.
Like, I mean, I was saying earlier that now the chapter that I'm at is like learning how to make thumbnails that are proper, that attract views. But literally, that's a course. Like, I sit here and I listen to videos. I'm like, okay, this. But if you check all my videos, all the thumbnails that I have are crap, and I'm okay, because for me it's like, as you said, process. Now I can see, okay, you've improved this much, and I think what I've also just told myself now is that take it as a learning step. Take pleasure and also celebrate yourself in seeing your improvement.
Yeah.
Because this is a beautiful space, and it's beautiful that you don't have perhaps that big of an audience, because now you can learn, and I'm seeing that, like, I'm enjoying that process.
Yeah, and I would like to.
I also like what you said about, like, it's a course. You actually feel like you're in school.
Yeah.
Because I try to think of it as if you are the brand. Before you present the product, that people also look at you as the brand. So developing the brand is also developing yourself. Because when people come to your profile, they're going to, before they even go into your stuff, they're going to check the presentation, the logos, what you're about, and the way you present your stuff is going to matter a lot. So as you said, that it's like a course. It's not, you're not only improving your product, but you're improving yourself with the product. You're learning more things about yourself and making yourself a better person, because a better you can present a better product.
Wow.
And that's interesting. In terms of also this issue of the process, maybe you can share also from your side, Vincent, because I know you do run a Christian ministry online, because I think a lot of people, running a Christian ministry nowadays for young people, it's something that people, when they are coming on social media, most people are not looking for listening to a preacher. They're looking maybe to see someone like Abs, who's into into fashion and lifestyle. Things that How do you balance that? How do you make it work?
Well, starting with the process of it, I started posting videos, I think a few years ago, but I wasn't looking at creating an online platform. I was just doing it because I like to just share what I thought and my ideas. And then it just so happened that one guy saw one of the videos. He worked at a TV station. And then he said, why don't you just come on my show and you talk about these things that you're always talking about? So when that guy invited me and I spoke for a few minutes on his show, I thought that, well, most of the people are now on the internet. The youth that I'm trying to reach are on the internet. So even though church stuff is not the first thing that they'll go to, maybe the presentation is going to matter to make it more attractive. So how can I make it attractive for a person to watch things about church? So that was the process of thinking about creating a brand that had to do with ministry and church things, because I thought that there's a gap that was there a few years ago. I think it's still there, and I tried to exploit it as much as possible.
That's great. And on our platform there, Joy is agreeing with what we're saying in terms of the purpose or the direction that vision, what value vision adds, and the fact that that's the fuel that actually keeps you going in those difficult times. And Abs, you have spoken about over time how it was difficult. How did you manage to also sustain that?
First and foremost, I think the inspiration why I started, right? The push was I wanted to share living as an expat in Abu Dhabi or in the United Arab Emirates as a person of color, as myself. So going through YouTube before coming here, I saw that there was a gap. Going back to what Vincent said, there was a gap. There wasn't much to see in terms of how life is as a person of color, as a young woman, as an expat wife, as a black person with natural hair. You know, the list is endless. So I wanted to fill that gap. That is one. And two, I've always been a person that likes sharing. Like, I love sharing information. So I get to share with prospective expats how life is in the UAE, right? And also, the third funny reason would be I wanted to to really prove to my family that I'm doing well on the side, so that when they ask, instead of just telling them I'm okay over the phone, which usually isn't always convincing, I can just tell them, check my video on YouTube. But anyway, that inspiration and the push to want to share is what kept me going in spite of the fear that I had. And also, I guess the passion burnt so much that I didn't even care in terms of equipment. Like, I've been doing everything on my phone, and seeing that growth that we've been talking about and having that burning passion that will not be, nothing can take it away. It kept me going. Even the commitment to post. I post every week on Wednesdays. The response from my supporters, my followers, is also what keeps me going, because I know that I'm not only doing this for me, as as my passion, but there are other people that are actually looking to see what I have to say. So it has kept me going, and that is what keeps me consistent. That every Wednesday I must share something with my subscribers. So that is it in a nutshell.
Amazing discipline. Amazing discipline.
That's wow, that's really unbelievable. And I was actually looking at your channel. You can't believe that everything is being done on a phone, right?
Oh,
like your thinking is like there's a
It's
whole crew.
amazing.
thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Owen, I know you run various businesses, and you make use of social media a lot in terms of different social media facilities. How are you making it work? And can you say that it has been fruitful? Are you really, because I see you do engagements on your immigration business and legal stuff using your social media. I see you, for your fresh veggies business as well. Is it yielding any results?
Yeah, I can basically say social media is one of the most amazing things that has happened to us, I mean, to our generation. You see, the platform, the access that we get from social media would take millions of dollars for the people that lived in the previous generation to just access that kind of access. If I tell you in terms of, I run an immigration practice, global immigration practice, but mainly South Africa as well, you find that in terms of my business, my clients are not really in South Africa. I'm looking for people that want to come to South Africa. I'm looking for corporates that want to send staff to South Africa. So when you engage in platforms like social media, you are breaking barriers, you are breaking borders, you're accessing a market that physically within the four walls of your offices, you would not do that. Your website will not reach them. Your flyers will not reach them. So social media gives you that endless opportunity to access people in the comfort of their homes, in distant lands where you have never been or where you may never be or set your foot. I have clients that communicate from China, from anywhere in the part of the world. And that gives me a very big privilege. Now, when you talk about social media, we have different ways that we use social media. We've got our company pages, our company websites, the links and everything. But one of the most amazing part of social media is that firstly, you need a community. You need a community, you need a following. And if your community is not that big as yet, you may partner with other personalities, you may partner with other people, other influencers who have a bigger reach to reach as much people as you'd like to. I've partnered with influencers, and I can tell you that the results are amazing. The results are amazing. From my personal profile on social media, I get lots of business, I get lots of leads. From our Facebook page, from our social media pages for the company, we get a lot of business leads. I mean, fruitful, not just inquiries. And when we partnered with other influencers, I mean, from social media, my goodness, our emails were flooded. Our inboxes were flooded. We couldn't catch up with the inquiries and the business. And this is just showing the power that we made a short advert, we made a short skit, and then some influencers posted it, in their websites, in their, platforms, and the videos go viral. And the huge amount of people that reach that, when you convert it to monetary terms, it's a lot of business. It's a business that would never reach. So
Yeah.
social media
And-
really, if you manage it well, you might as well run your office from home.
Yeah. And that's interesting, because then we entered into this lockdown. A lot of us, we're lost to say, what do we do? How do we move forward? And things like that. And those people like you who were already doing this, they just continued, right? And kept on. And I like the point that you touched on collaborations. How you are able to make use of what other people are doing. And but my question on that is, of course, when you look for an influencer who's coming from outside doing something totally different, it's easier. But I think one of the biggest challenges is people, we feel that we are competing against each other. I don't know if
I think basically, see, the competition is good, Stan, because when there's competition, it's the people that benefit. The competition is among the companies, but the person that takes the trophy is the people. Because now people have a wide variety of choosing products, I mean, from the comfort of their homes. So I necessarily think it's a healthy competition when it comes to that. It's healthy competition. I can flip my page. I see lifestyle from this profile. I see lifestyle from this profile. Lifestyle. Talk about ministry. Vincent can agree with me. Just my timeline, I see 30, 40, 50 pastors. And it gives me flexibility and elasticity to access a bigger market for my interests. I can feed myself. I say, I like this pastor. I don't need to take a drive. I just click. I'm listening to the pastor that I love to hear from. And I said, today I don't want to listen to this pastor. I want to listen to this. You just click, and they're all live on your timeline, 10, 15 of them. So I believe that competition, as it may see, is very healthy for the people, for the audience, because we get a bigger choice and variety.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I agree with you, Owen. Oh, sorry, Abby. You want
Yeah, go ahead, Tobela. Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree. I think competition is good because, number one, as you said, it benefits the consumer of that content because they've got options. But also, like, there isn't one way of interpreting something. So, for example, interpreting the gospel, you've got your way of interpreting the gospel. I've got my way of interpreting the gospel. The way that you relate, it's also aligned with how your life has been brought up. So you might find that this person, I can relate with this person because of the way that they deliver things, but I can't relate with that person. So if there was only one person and people couldn't really relate, then what happens to the other people that can relate? Which is the same case, even with companies. Sometimes they appeal to this certain market and they do not appeal to that market. But if there's competition, you find that there's a lot of different companies that are getting through everybody because, it's different people that are behind all of those things. So, I mean, I definitely believe in competition. And we can also learn from each other. I mean, if I know that, someone else is there, I know that Abby is there, she's got a channel. I look at Abby's channel, I see how, what the improvements were in that week, and I implement. It's all about getting better, I think. Abby, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, but before maybe we move to Abby, so we're actually looking at your channel, Tobela, and I see, some interesting thumbnails here. I wonder why you say your thumbnails haven't been so great, because when I look at it, they
look amazing.
Yeah, they look amazing. They are like clickbait, they make you to want to go ahead and click. But anyway, yeah, Abby, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yes, actually, I love the banner.
Thank you, sis.
Yes. I was going to say, I like the way you guys have interpreted the word competition in the sense that it is you've looked at it in terms of there being other people competing for the same customers or consumers, and not in like in its negative connotation where now we're, there's tension and we're brushing against each other to really get all the consumers, all the subscribers to me. Because I was going to say competition in its negative sense is it defeats the purpose if now we're going to be comparing each other and trying to upscale one another. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yes, because one thing that has kept me going, especially in this broad world of YouTube, is being authentic, ignoring competing against other YouTubers, and actually staying true to myself. Because if I were to go with this hype of I want to upscale another YouTuber, I want more subscribers, then I'm going to lose myself. So I have decided that I'm not going to be taking part in how many subscribers does she have, how many do I have, what kind of content am I gonna make, what ideas am I gonna steal, but just staying true to myself, knowing that like my sister said, there's one way to look at things. For example, I do fashion hauls nowadays because of Corona. I've sort of most of my content nowadays is fashion, and if you go on YouTube, there's a million fashion hauls. But the nice thing is I get to do it as me, authentically, as representing girls like me who are petite, who are short like me, girls with dark skin, etc. And I think that is what has helped me to ignore the negative side of competition.
Yeah. But I another part that I wonder is how do you manage the time? Because I really think it takes a lot to sit down and think of, I want to do this, I want to post this, or maybe I want to dress like this, I want to look like this, recording it, you record 4 or 5 times and you just see that it's not coming right. Maybe you have a confidante that you speak to and ask to say, please give me feedback. They just tell you, nah. How do you guys manage the time, Vincent? Even with because I always wonder. There was a time I was wondering, is Vincent full time into ministry or what? Because he's always live, almost so many times he's praying for people. You are helping people out. How do you manage the time, guys?
I think managing time it comes from having wisdom, because when you have wisdom, you can plan your things properly. For instance, with going online to do live videos, there'll be days when I've been teaching, I've been lecturing, and then I would know that I've got 30 minutes lunchtime. That lunchtime, I would convert it to social media time. I would go online and then I would speak for 30 minutes. So all the free slots that I had during the day, I would consciously plan that today I'm going to do this, I'm going to dress like this, I'm going to speak about this. So having a schedule and planning ahead, it helps you to always have your stuff to happening and you're not conflicting with your schedules and other things.
That's wow. That's just wow, because you just reminded me of, there was a time when I was having more responsibilities at work, and I was beginning to struggle to manage my time. And I spoke to one of the guys who was more of a mentor. And one thing that he said to me, he said, when you were at high school, how many subjects were you doing? So at first I said 3 subjects, because at A level in Zimbabwe we do 3 subjects. I said no. Then I said, okay, at O level I did 11 subjects. So he said, you did 11 subjects. How did you manage 11 subjects and to pass? You did well at school, right? I said, yes. I said, I had a timetable. I said, yeah. So why can't you have a timetable now? And he said, that's the oldest trick in the book, right? Why don't you have a schedule?
Yeah. Sure.
Go ahead, Abby.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks. I was gonna remind Stanford. I don't know if you remember when we were doing our honors. There's a time you said this to me, that you see, our honors, it's not about if you can get the material right and actually pass. It's basically about being able to balance all the modules. It's about time management. And that thing has stuck to the back of my head. And it like I apply it even to YouTube. Like what I usually do is I pre-record. Like I record on Sundays and then post on Wednesdays. So that pre-recording and planning ahead, because I have ideas for days. So I implement them one idea at a time, and I get to have enough time to edit and watch that video a million times, because your girl is a perfectionist. And by the time it goes live, by the time I post it, I have had enough time to look at it and check if everything is okay and if the quality is what I would like to present to the world. So yeah, that pre-planning and scheduling is very important. And also I think having a routine. Life is about having routines.
And while we are there, Abby, you can say Joy is actually agreeing with you to say, you know, what you said about authenticity. Like that's a great point. You know.
Thank you so much, Joy.
So people feel that authenticity. People feel it. You know. But yeah, Tobela, you were saying you also wanted to weigh in on the time management.
Yes, and I mean, I wanted to say I've actually been probably on the other side of time management, and I really appreciate, you know, some of the lessons that are coming from this platform. But I also think as I am growing, I mean, I've only just gotten back to my YouTube channel and, you know, just getting that content out there. And also because I feel it's important right now, given that, you know, people are going through financial problems, and I feel like they need that voice of reason that, you know what, as much as things are going bad financially, we can take a step back and pause and try and find opportunities. But because, you know, because I work and, you know, I try to do this, I feel like I've sort of been caught behind in terms of managing my time. And because I'm making mistakes, I learn. So I mean, Abby, it's funny that now you're saying, okay, have a routine, shoot on Sundays. Because I also like, you know, upload on Wednesdays. But I mean, these past 2 videos that I've shot, like one of my videos, I had to shoot 3 times. I missed my schedule. And I cried, like literally I cried, because I was like, I can't have to shoot it for the 4th time. And I think that people like are getting demotivated. Then I went to sleep. And then I woke up again. I was like, listen, actually, you want to do this. You want to do this. And I went to shoot. And I uploaded it. I mean, one of my other videos, like when I uploaded it, I realized that, you know, I missed a 40 seconds clip. And I went and I had to re-upload. And for me, those are the lessons that I've learned. And because of those 2 lessons, I've decided, okay, weekend, you have to shoot so that you give your video to someone else that has the script and they can look at it so that the quality can be better. So the mistakes are there, but because I make one mistake, then I know, okay, in order for me not to make this mistake, this is what I'm going to do. Even the shooting, I portion my shootings so that I don't miss things. So if I'm saying, okay, this is sketch number 1, or I don't know, or shooting number 1, so that then even the saving of those videos, you know, I know, so that I look for those things. So for me, those have been like good lessons, and I'm learning them now. And I just feel like people should not be discouraged because they're making mistakes. That's the whole point, to get better.
Yeah, and I must just applaud you on that, your intention to stay consistent, you know, and to the point of you crying. I know how it feels, because with me, my last two posts, I actually recorded on the day. This is just me being authentic and, you know, being open. The challenges are there. But I remember my husband with the one video before the previous one, he actually felt that you're pushing yourself too hard, because I had a headache, imagine. But I felt like I needed to honor, you know, my commitment. I'll post every Wednesday. So I did it. And I guess there can be a thin line between burning yourself out and working hard to honor your commitment. But at the end of the day, I'm proud that I put out that video. So yeah, the challenges are there, but yeah, we do what we have to do.
Yeah, and we get better. I mean, you pick up the mistake the next time you correct it.
Yeah, yeah. And
Sorry, Owen.
Paul here was saying, and this speaks maybe to what Owen you were saying earlier, that social media has helped to break monopolies, like things that
Oh,
only could be done by big businesses before.
That's true.
Or
That's
and
true.
he says, that's in business, in ministry, in politics, in entertainment. You just need your phone, and you can actually reach the rest of the world, and you can market your product, and you can get people, to notice you, and I think that makes a huge difference, guys.
That's
And
true. That's true.
Yeah.
and
I can add
I
you
know.
then.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I can add you that. Remember, my wife started another business. It was my wife's idea, the Fresh Cut, and Fresh Cut is like online fresh produce delivery. We deliver to your doorstep. People order online and deliver to your doorstep. The business literally started on her phone. She just got the catalog. This is the produce that I have. She's sitting in the house, sent it online, and the phone is ringing nonstop. Like she sends the driver, go back, go back, go back. The driver is up and down doing deliveries. And this thing, there's no office, there's no shop rental. She's just operating this business from the warehouse and packing and sending. So you see, the social media is given a platform
yeah.
to operate a business that it was monopolized by the big retail giants. Now she's delivering to houses, to homes, and we are increasing the products, and people, you can even buy your mother, a grocery from overseas
Yeah.
in South Africa, and she gets a delivery, and all
and
this
and
thing was
this
not
one
possible.
and this one, it's a good one, Owen, because I really think, like we've spoken about, you need your phone. You only need your phone. You need an idea, and this maybe is, as we wrap up, is also another crucial point, because a lot of people say, where do I start from? And part of what we are saying as Baobab Chats, and part of the vision of this, is to say, as young people, everyone, you have got something that you can share. There's something that you can use to empower others, or something that you can use to enterprise yourself. Like a lot of us now with this COVID, a lot of jobs are going to become redundant. A lot of things that we spent years studying, no one needs it anymore. A lot of changes are coming into this new economy, and this is a perfect example of saying, where do you start? You are saying your wife started with a phone and create a flyer and start selling greens, right? Fresh vegetables. And it's growing and it's going out there. And I think this is part of what we want to kind of achieve as young people, to say, one of the best ways to start is ask yourself, what do I have? If what I have is beauty, I will use beauty. If what I have is brains, I will use brains. If what I have is ability to talk, I will use talking. Don't try to find something that is not within your sphere.
Yeah. I like
And I
that
think
because
also, Stan, yes, Abigail, I think also, Stan, just a simple point or just a word of advice. See a need and meet it. That's all.
Yeah.
Just see a need and then you meet it. That's all. Look in your community, look in your environment. It might not be your passion, but as a business idea, you might realize that I think I have the capacity to resolve this problem. And there it's done. That's where the money is. That's where the business is. That's where the success lies. See a need in your community and just go for it. And the best time to start is now.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's a great parting shot, actually. Yes, Abby?
Yes,
And
I was going to say, I like what you said. You start with what you have. In fact, one of my inspirations is one of
okay, sorry, Abby. I think there there is an echo coming from. I think there's a device that is live, that is giving an echo. Okay,
um
all right. No, that's fine. I will find it. Yeah, you can go ahead, Abby. I found it. It's Vincent.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I was going to say one of my greatest YouTube inspirations is Sibum Panza. He's one of the people that kept, he would tweet things that I would read and really get motivated, because one of my concerns was, okay, if I start a YouTube channel, what about the quality? What about the lighting? Like, I was stressing about all these things, which, by the way, are important. But he would constantly tweet that people must start with what they have. You start with what you have and you grow from there. And that everyone, all ages, because another point of concern in the YouTube space can be age. People look at themselves that, okay, I'm a bit older, will I flourish like these younger ones? But he would tweet things about, going for it, starting with what you have, and that the YouTube space is open for everyone, anyone. So I guess I'm also, passing the baton and encouraging someone out there. If you're watching this and you've been going back and forth with yourself about starting a YouTube channel, go for it. Start with what you have. I do it on my phone. Do it on your phone as well, and we can grow from there.
Whilst we're there, I just want to this is interesting, because this is a new one. This is fresh, right? The one that Owen was talking about, fresh cut. And if you look at the Facebook page, you can't think that this all started from a phone. And you see, this is stuff that is pegged, going out there, out to the market. And really, this is what we're talking about, guys.
Yeah.
This is just through, using WhatsApp and, all the graphics and stuff like that. It's just sitting down and you can get going. This is great, by the way, Owen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Vincent, you have a shout out from Paul here on Facebook, saying it's been long. We see the great work that you are doing in ministry. Anything else that you'd want to say regarding your channel, regarding your business, and regarding the other people that also want to start? In 30 seconds, we can start with you, Tobel.
Thank you so much. So I am in the financial services industry space, and my channel is all about educating people around money, how to save, but also just making them understand. My belief is that, Owen, you touched on the fact that, social media allows monopoly to be broken down. I also feel like in the financial space, it allows us to reach industries that, these big companies have not been able to reach. And I feel like in finance, it's our communities. Our communities have not been taught about money. And this because it's been a foreign concept. And my aim is to break that down, to break the barriers around understanding. First, educate first. Because I believe if you educate someone about finances, they're gonna then understand whether they need financial advice and whether they need to invest. So if someone is interested, please check me out on YouTube under my name, Thobela Mfeti, and also on the socials under my name, Facebook and on Instagram. I'm quite active. And yeah, ask me anything you want to ask me about what's happening. I'm quite active on making people understand, for example, how the recent 2.75% interest rates affect them, how they can benefit from crash in all prices, things like that. How do you understand what's happening and apply it to yourself, and therefore see opportunities beyond that?
Yeah, and Abby?
The last piece of advice I can give to prospective YouTubers or small YouTubers is, 1, start with what you have. 2, stay authentic, be true to yourself, go for it. And another thing that I didn't get the chance to talk about is monetization, like making money from YouTube. Nowadays, the way YouTube has been branded, we see people making money and there can be that pressure to want to monetize quickly. I'd say take it easy, go slow, don't run towards monetization, just run towards improving your content and enjoying what you do. And last but not least, my channel is Abs in the Dhabi, Abs from Abigail, the Dhabi from Abu Dhabi. So Abs in the Dhabi. You can also follow me on Facebook, Abigail Letono, or find me on Instagram, Abs Let's. I'm quite interactive. I'll be happy to interact with all of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Owen, your parting shot?
Well, my parting shot, professional, I'm a legal professional, and a specialist in relocation and immigration. So definitely people can reach me on my inbox, Facebook. And just a word of advice to everyone else. Don't just enjoy having a very big following on social media. Use it for the right reasons. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. Thank
Vincent?
you. Vincent? Thank you for that. All I can say is that you need to find your uniqueness so that you can present your product, whatever it is, even if it's you are sharing a message and you want people to be encouraged by it. So knowing your uniqueness creates your content that will allow the right people to follow you. So on social media, I go by Vincent T. Joseph for Instagram and Facebook. I'm also working on my YouTube, which I'm going to launch in a few weeks.
Wow, great stuff.
Great stuff.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
You know,
you so much, guys.
Paul
Yes,
has commented here on Facebook and saying, guys, this is educative. Funny, I don't have a YouTube channel. I'll be making mine tonight.
Come over, Paul. Come over to YouTube.
Yeah, so this is great, and it has been great, guys, having you and having a chat. And I always say, you know, if there's anything that you would want to share, if you know, anyone, a young African, you know, a young person, you want to ask other guys, you think there's something that you want to share, you think there's something that you want to talk to other people about, you feel that there's something that you can share with other people, feel free. Get in touch with us, inbox us. Let's find a way to grow this and develop, you know, together. The time for competition of feeling that I must be the only one is over. We have now reached an era where, as young people, our power is in us working together. Our power is in us doing stuff that we do as a whole. If you try, some people say, if you want to go far, go with others. But if you want to go fast, go alone. So think of it in that way, to say, when we come together as young people, when we discuss, each and every one of us, there's something that we can share. Each and every one of us, we can impact on each other's lives and develop a better future. Last, guys, thank you so much, Owen, Vincent, Adi, and Tobela, for joining. It's been a great time. We hope next time we'll be again together and share on different stuff. Remember, Monday, 25th of May is Africa Day. There's something that we are putting together in the works just for Africa Day. So keep looking at our YouTube channel and keep checking out on Facebook, and you see interesting stuff that will be coming. Otherwise, till then, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.